The true cost of ownership. You may have heard someone on social media, maybe a friend or a family member, say this here. It's best to own a home than to rent a home. Have you ever heard that before? I have. I have heard it for a long time. Stop throwing your money away. Stop making someone else rich. Stop taking care of someone else's business. Get out there and build your credit up and save up a down payment and go and purchase your own home. Everything will be better when you do that for yourself. And of course, I have heard somebody say this before. It builds generational wealth. That's not for everybody. In order to build generational wealth, you got to have somebody that can maintain properties, and you got to have somebody that can pay the taxes on the property, and etc. And also keep the property up. So what good is it to leave someone a home that can't even save $1,000? How are they going to be able to pay the taxes up on that land? But anyway, you have heard somebody say that before. Own a home, ownership. You need to own your own business. You hear it all of the time. Now, think about this here. You're saving up all of your money through the year. Building your credit up, paying all your bills on time. I'm not saying something is wrong with building your credit up. But you're building it up just to get a house. And you're saving up money just to get a house. And some people can't even really save money at all. So if you can save up money to get a house, you can maintain and, take care of a home. But anyway, back to the subject. You're saving up all this money to buy this home because you're tired of renting. You're tired of making your landlord rich. So one day you finally build up your credit enough to purchase a home. And you finally build up the right amount to put a down payment on a home. So now you're happy. You go to the bank give you a certain amount that you're approved for. For example, they may say $200,000, which does not go very far at all these days when it comes down to buying a home. It does not go far. So if you can find a decent home these days at $200,000 for a family of 4 or 5, upgraded bathrooms and upgraded kitchens and stuff like that for matter of fact, for under $200,000, you strike gold in this economy here today in 2025. But you have finally went to the bank and they say, okay, we approve you for $200,000. You can find a home around this range. If you go over, you have to pay more down. And plus, your monthly payment will be higher than what it may be, which it really doesn't matter when it comes down to that anyway. So you finally go up there and you go and you find a realtor and you begin to try to find a home. You're going from this house saying, okay, I like this. So I'm going to mark this on my checklist that I like this home. And you go to other homes and you say, okay, I like these homes also. Some people will spend their whole amount on a home. Everything that they got approved for, they will spend their whole amount on a home. You've been approved, sir, for $500,000. So you go out and find a home for $500,000 because they approved you for that. So now you finally go to the bank and say, okay, me and my realtor have found a home. They want X amount for this home. The bank say, okay, let me check it out. We're going to send somebody out there to inspect the home. Check the plumbing, appliances and the wiring and all that different type of stuff inside the home. Make sure that the attic is right, and the plumbing and stuff is right at the home. So just in case you get this home repoed, matter of fact, the house, if you get the house under foreclosure, we can still do something with this house. We know this house has great plumbing in it, and etc. So they send somebody out to the home and check the home out, and they say, voila, everything is great on this home. Now you go to the bank and you tell the bank, I want this home since it passed inspection. So now you're going on through your process with everything. You paying down your earnings money, and let me repeat that. You're paying down your earnings money, and getting your insurance on your home and stuff like that. You're happy. You saved up the money to get your home. But this is what they don't tell you about purchasing your own home. When something breaks down at that home, it's your responsibility to get that home fixed. Anything at that house that breaks down, it's on you. And if you don't have any money, you SOL. That insurance that you just purchased for that home, for those appliances and also that plumbing, if you don't have any money, what good is that insurance going to do for you? Because you got to pay a deductible in order for someone to come out and look at what the problem may be. So now you can't call the landlord and say, okay, my dishwasher is backed up. Can you send somebody out here right now to check on this dishwasher? Something is not right. You can't call the landlord and say, my toilet is stopped up. Can you send a plumber out here to fix this toilet? Are y'all catching my drift? You can't call the landlord for that anymore. You are the landlord. Every expense is on you. You was happy at first because you got approved for it. Just because you're approved for something don't mean that you can afford that. That's the game and that's the trick. And also, you still have to pay property taxes on this home. Sometimes they will add it in on your payment. So let's say you may be paying $1,500 a month, and your property taxes may be $600 a month. So now your $1,500 payment has went up to $2,100 a month. But you were happy at first. As a matter of fact, let me correct my grammar. You was happy at first about getting this home. But now this home is starting to be a headache to you. Because you got to pay insurance. You got to pay property taxes. You got to keep the property up. Some people even pay HOA fees. Homeowners Association. So many different fees and so many different tricks when it comes down to owning these homes. And the people will get out there and jump into the water and don't understand that it's too deep to swim in. I can't afford this. So now a person may have to wind up selling their home because it's too damn expensive. That's the part they don't tell you about. Go out there and get a home. It's cheaper. At least you're owning it. You're not throwing away any money. I'll say this here. If you cannot save up at least $20,000, I'm talking about somebody that, just a regular U.S. citizen that, living a American so-called dream. If you can't save up at least $10,000 a year on your job, or maybe even greater, don't go out there and get a home. You can't save no money. Because what are you going to do when a house burned down and you can't afford to pay their insurance? When a house burned down and you can't afford to pay their insurance and that insurance lapse, you still have to pay that you still have to pay that home off. It's still on you to pay for it. Everything is on you. So it's a luxury to rent. It's a luxury. At least when something happens to that home, everything is not on you. The only thing you're responsible of is maybe paying your renter's insurance and your bills and your rent. And maybe keeping the lawn mowed if you stay in a home. If you stay in an apartment, this is a whole nother situation. Stop listening to these people out here telling you that it's better to go out there and own something. Get out there and own a business. Some people are not business minded. Some people can't even save $1,000 like I said earlier. If you can't save up $1,000, why in the world do you want to go out there and own a home? Because it's going to be much more expensive for you. You can't save any money. You cannot manage your money well. Stop listening to these people out here. Get your finances together first. Get some better spending habits. If you got a bad spending habit, owning a home is not for you. It's not for you because you are responsible for everything at that home. Not Lean Chain Chew, your landlord, or Karen Sue. No, you can't call her up anymore. You can't call Lean Chain Chew up no more either. You got to call up yourself and spend your own money and go ahead and take care of your own business. Y'all leave a comment and let me know exactly what you all think about this topic. I would like to know. Holla at you.